So, I need to tell you guys something. I have a pet. Now, that's not the weird part. Lots of people have pets, but my pet is ... a little different. It's a leech. Yes, a leech. The slimy, blood-sucking creature that most people try to avoid at all costs. And I'm not kidding. This is completely serious. His name is Larry, and he's been my little buddy for a few months now. I can already hear you asking, why? Why on earth would anyone want a pet leech? Well, it's a long story, but the short version is, it started as a joke. I was watching a documentary about medicinal leeches and how they've been used in medicine for thousands of years. I got fascinated. They're actually incredibly complex and, dare I say, beautiful creatures up close. I started reading more about them, and one thing led to another. Before I knew it, I was on a specialized pet supplier website ordering a single Gerudo medicinalis, the European medicinal leech. When Larry arrived, he was tiny, just a little black worm in a small container of water. I set up a simple aquarium for him, a large glass jar with some smooth rocks and dechlorinated water. The setup is surprisingly low. I change his water every couple of days, and that's about it. Leeches don't need a lot of space, and they're very clean. They don't make any noise, they don't chew up your furniture, and they don't need to be walked. In many ways, they're the perfect low-maintenance pet. Now, let us get to the question I know is on everyone's mind. What do you feed a pet leech? Well, you're looking at it. That's right, I feed him myself. Before you freak out, let me explain the process, because it's not as horrifying as it sounds. First off, medicinal leeches don't just bite indiscriminately. They need to be encouraged. The feeding process happens once every 3 to 6 months. Yes, that's it. They have an incredibly slow metabolism. When it's feeding time, I take Larry out of his jar and place him on a clean area of my arm or leg. Leeches are attracted to warmth, so they naturally gravitate towards a good spot. Their bite is ... Interesting. It doesn't really hurt. Seriously. When they first latch on, you feel a tiny prick, like a mosquito bite. That's because their saliva contains a natural anesthetic, a painkiller, so you barely feel a thing while they're attached. Their saliva also contains an anticoagulant called Gerudin, which keeps the blood flowing freely. This is why they've been so valuable in medicine for reattaching limbs and improving circulation. He'll stay attached for anywhere from 20 minutes to over an hour, just slowly filling up. You can see his body expand as he drinks. He'll go from a skinny little worm to a plump, cigar-shaped creature. It's strangely fascinating to watch. When he's full, he just detaches on his own and falls off. It's a very clean process. After he detaches, the small wound will bleed for a little while because of the anticoagulant. It's not a gusher or anything, just a slow, steady ooze. I just put a bandage on it, and it stops within a few hours. The next day, it's just a tiny mark that looks like a 3-pointed star, which is the shape of their jaw. It fades after a few weeks. And that's it. After his big meal, Larry is happy and content for months. He'll just chill in his jar, swimming around, or attaching himself to the glass. He's actually quite graceful in the water, moving in this beautiful undulating wave. It's very calming to watch. It's like having a tiny, living lava lamp. So, what's it like having a leech as a pet on a day-to-day basis? It's pretty quiet. I say hi to him in the morning. I watch him swim. Sometimes I'll gently nudge the jar to see him react. He seems to respond to vibrations. He doesn't have eyes in the way we think of them, but he has light-sensitive cells, so he can tell when it's day or night. He's more active in the dark. Of course, having a pet leech comes with some social challenges. Bringing it up in conversation is always a showstopper. Reactions range from horrified disgust to intense curiosity. Most people think I'm joking at first. When they realize I'm serious, the questions start flooding in. I've had to become a mini expert on leech biology and care. It's actually been a great learning experience. I've learned so much about anatomy, anticoagulants, and the history of medicine. It has also taught me a lot about our preconceived notions of what makes a good pet. We're so used to fluffy, cuddly animals that anything outside of that box is seen as weird or gross. But Larry has his own unique charm. He's a living creature, a part of the natural world, and he's just doing what leeches do. There's a simple, ancient elegance to him. He doesn't want to be cuddled. He just wants to exist, swim, and have a good meal every few months. And I'm happy to provide that for him. Caring for him has also given me a new appreciation for animals that are often misunderstood or vilified. Spiders, snakes, bats, and yes, leeches. They all play a vital role in their ecosystems. They're not monsters. They're just different from us. And sometimes, taking the time to understand something you're afraid of can be incredibly rewarding. It can change your perspective entirely. I know a pet leech isn't for everyone. In fact, it's probably for almost no one. It requires a certain mindset and a strong stomach. You have to be okay with the blood, and you have to be willing to become a part of your pet's life cycle in a very direct way. But for me, it's been a uniquely fascinating journey. Larry the Leech has become a strange and wonderful part of my life. He's my weird little buddy, and I wouldn't trade him for a golden retriever. Well, maybe I'd have both. So, what do you think? Am I crazy? Or is this kind of cool? Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts on having a pet leech. Have I changed your mind about them? Even a little bit? Or do you still think they're just creepy Be honest! I can take it! Thanks for listening to my weird pet story! If you enjoyed this and want to see more updates on Larry, maybe even a feeding video, if you're brave enough, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.